Hello and welcome to Oliport platform, and I welcome you all SSC Railway Coaching English Medium official YouTube channel. Hi, I hope so I'm audible properly, guys. Please let me know in the comment section if I'm audible or not, so that we can start our class with the sources of Indian Constitution part. Okay, let's begin this session with your confirmation in the comment box, please. Hi. Okay, so let's begin this session with the sources of the Indian Constitution. As we already know that Indian Constitution, through a Constituent Assembly, we form the Constitution, right? And now in this class, we will cover the sources of Indian Constitution. So actually, we have studied around 24 countries' Constitution, and out of 24 countries, we actually picked 8 countries' constitution in our constitution part, right? Okay, so we'll start this from here, and yes, this was a story of Indian Constituent Assembly, as we have already covered that on 9 December 1946 we had a first meeting, then after 11 December second meeting, 13 December third meeting, 29th August 1947 the draft committee formed. After that, draft committee submitted their draft for the reading purpose, and then after, finally 24th November 1947 they completed submitted their draft structure. On 26th November 1949 we actually completed the draft, as well as we down the pan for the constitution especially, but we waited for the from 26 November 1949 to 26 January 1950. Okay, clear everyone? Now see here, after the 26 January 1950, before actually, we had a last meeting, especially on 24th January 1950, okay? And 26 January 1950, we actually published or accepted our constitution in India. In the structure of the constitution, we have already covered that around 395 article, 8 schedule and 22 parts is the structure of the constitution. Now, in today's class, we have to cover the sources of the Indian Constitution. We'll start this segment with the Government of India Act 1935. And the Government of India Act 1935, the major sources were Office of Governor is borrowed from the 1935 Act, Emergency Provision and Public Service Commission. Clear? Well, 70% of the Constitution is borrowed from the Government of India Act 1935. This will frame your very first question. Clear? Now, Office of Governor, that means there shall be a post of governor in each state of India, is borrowed from which constitution? Government of India Act 1935. Can you tell me the article of Office of Governor or the post of the governor? See, it comes under article 153. So, according to the article 153, there is a post of governor mentioned, right? Emergency provision, article 352, 356, 360. This is an emergency provision which we borrowed from the Government of India Act 1935. Don't get confused with the Germany Constitution. We took some part from Germany Constitution, but not the emergency provision. The correct line is fundamental right which are suspended during the emergency is borrowed from the Germany Constitution. So make a difference between these, okay? Public Service Commission, Article 315 is also borrowed from Government of India Act 1935, okay? Just make your notes Try to repeat it, try to revise it, and you are all set for the polity part. Okay. Now, let's talk about the first country which we actually borrow. First is British Constitution. Whether the question is from Britain, British, England, okay, you will use this segment only. Parliamentary form of government, that means the Parliament of India comes under Article 79. This segment is borrowed from this area. Then after rule of law, then after single citizenship, very important, Article 5 to 11. Okay, it's also borrowed from the Britain Constitution, as we have single citizenship. Bicameralism, what does it mean? The provision of two houses, that is your Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, is the terminology we used for the bicameralism. Clear? So this, each and every segment which is slightly or completely partially associated with your parliament system or the parliamentary form is actually borrowed from the Britain Constitution. Clear, everyone? Okay. Now, moving to the next part, US Constitution, or from the Constitution of America, from the Constitution of US. Clear? Fundamental rights borrowed from the US Constitution. As we already know, fundamental right comes from Article 12 to 35. So, all the fundamental rights we actually borrowed from the Constitution of America. Judicial review, Article 137. Okay. Impeachment of the President, Article 61. What is the impeachment? A process of removal presidents, or basically if you want to remove president from his or her post, you have to follow a process, right? And that process is termed as impeachment. Clear? Only by the member of parliament can initiate this impeachment process on the basis of violation of the Constitution. Clear? This whole process is borrowed from which country? America or US. Clear? Post of Vice President, Article 63. There shall be a post of Vice President in the President's list or the rank. Just after the President, we will consider the Vice President. Okay? Definitely we can use this term, the termination part. Okay. Clear? Clear? So, post of Vice President is also borrowed from the US Constitution. Now, provision for removing the judge of the Supreme Court or High Court. Same process as the President of India, that means impeachment. So, actually impeachment process is introduced only for two posts in India. First is your President and second is for the Supreme Court judges. Clear? Which we again borrowed from the America Constitution. Okay? Now, your third country from where we borrowed something is your Ireland. So, from the Constitution of Ireland or from the Irish Constitution, very, very important, DPSPs, Directive Principles of State Policies, Article 36 to 51. All the instructions which are given to the state government to follow when or during the state welfare policy. So, whenever the state government is framing their policy for the welfare of the state, they have to follow some kind of instructions which are inbuilt in the DPSPs. So, that is why DPSPs are directly for the state government, not indirectly for the public of India. Clear? DPSPs are also non-justiciable. That means you cannot go to the Supreme Court or the High Court if you are not under or covering under the particular state policy. Okay? Narsimha ji, surely I will take or explain each and every article whenever we have a topic. So, actually today's topic class is sources of the Indian Constitution, right? So I cannot elaborate each and every segment. Whenever we have, I guess, third or fourth class, okay, your Monday or Tuesday class will be your DPSP's class. So I will take a thread of each and every article of DPSP's, okay, because today's topic is the sources of Indian Constitution. So we just have to go through our topics, okay. Okay. I have a class on daily at 1 p.m. So definitely you can follow me for the daily class. Thank you so much. Okay. Method of election of the president. Method of the election, that means a process which we covered in the president's election. Firstly, president's election comes under Article 54 and 55. Clear? Secondly, the method of election of president is actually an indirect process. It is an indirect process in which only elected MP and MLA will participate. Borrowed from Ireland Constitution. Next is nomination of members of Rajya Sabha. Comes under Article 80D. So, president can nominate 12 members in Rajya Sabha who's having a special achievement in a fields of arts, literature, science and social service are nominated by the President of India, and this provision is borrowed from Ireland Constitution. Clear? On the application, you will find, can you please check the description box of this session, the YouTube session. In the description box, there is an application link is mentioned. Kindly download the application, and once you download your application, just go to the or select your category, that is your SSC and railway, and scroll up to the YouTube PDFs, and where you will get your class PDF. Okay. So ultimately, you have to download the application especially. Clear? Okay. See, so nomination is also mentioned or borrowed from the Ireland. Okay, good to go. Now, Canadian Constitution, very important for exam point of view. Quasi-federal form of government. That means India having the federation with a strong center. We have divided our power between the India and the state government, but actually if we talk about the strongest strength of any government, in that case central government is more strong, right? Appointment of governor. Remember, the office of governor is borrowed from Government of India Act 1935. The appointment of governor is borrowed from the Canada Constitution, and it is mentioned under Article 155. According to the Article 155, governor is appointed by the President of India in each state of India. Clear? State by the government. Advisory jurisdiction. Actually, this is a power of the Supreme Court. Comes under Article 143. Under this article, Supreme Court can give advice to the President of India on his ask only. Okay, and President is not bound to follow that advice. So this is a advisory jurisdiction which comes under Article 143. Okay, moving ahead. Next is Germany Constitution. I have already mentioned you are clear that emergency provision is borrowed from Government of India Act 1935. While the suspension of fundamental rights during an emergency, that is your except Article 20 and 21 from the Germany Constitution. Okay, each and every article can be suspended of fundamental right can be suspended during an emergency except Article 20 and 21. So, suspension of fundamental right during emergency is borrowed from Germany. Emergency provision is borrowed from Government of India Act 1935. Please keep in mind and make a difference. Okay. Now, Australian Constitution. From the Australian Constitution, we borrowed this concurrent list. Okay. Now, what is concurrent list? Concurrent list is a list which is consist of different kind of topics, or in a current scenario, 52 topics, which will be handled by central government, plus state government. Topics which are mentioned in a concurrent list can be handled or controlled by central and state government, but on any clashed, but on priority, we have to give priority on the central government. Okay, for example, topics like education, forest, wildlife sanctuaries, media, newspaper, books, marriage, divorce, these are the topic of concurrent list. Take an example of education. For example, education is the topic of concurrent list. Now, the central government and the state government both have a right or power to make a law on a education topic on the topic of concurrent list. But if is there any clash arise, in that case, the priority will be given to the central government only. Is that clear now? Joint sitting of parliament. Joint session, basically it is a session when a particular house is denied to accept or to pass a particular bill. This particular session is always invited by the President of India, or if the President of India invite Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha combinedly, it will be termed as joint session. Comes under which article? 108. Lok Sabha speaker can head these joint session. Only President can invite these joint session. In India, we had around 3 joint sessions in the year 1961 on the topic of dowry, in the year 1978 on the topic of banking and finance, in the year 2002 on the topic of POTA, Prevention of Terrorism Act. Clear? Freedom of trade and commerce is also borrowed from the Australian Constitution. Clear everyone? Now, moving ahead. Next is Russian Constitution. Fundamental duties are borrowed from the Russian Constitution. Some words, especially the justice. In preamble, we have mentioned that justice should be socialist, justice should be economical, and justice should be political. This is mentioned in your preamble, and we borrowed this line from the Constitution of Russia. Fundamental duties, which comes under Article 51, Part 4A, is also mentioned in your Constitution. Clear? French Constitution. R stands for Republic, Liberty, Equality, Fraternity. Again, these words are mentioned in your preamble, which is the key of the Constitution, right? Is borrowed from French Constitution. South Africa, very important segment, the procedure of Constitution amendment. A process by which or through which you can add or you can delete something from your original Constitution, which was framed on 26 January 1950. Clear? So, if you want to add something, if you want to delete something, you have to take a process, and that process is termed as Constitution Amendment, which is borrowed from South Africa, comes under Article 368. Clear? Now, election of the members of Rajya Sabha. As we know, if we talk about the strength of Rajya Sabha is consist of 250 members. Okay? Out of 250, 238 are elected and 12 are nominated. So, this election process is borrowed from the South Africa Constitution. Clear everyone? Any doubts regarding this? Till now, we have around 104 Constitution Amendment 2019 last. 106 Constitution Amendment 2023 last. Okay. Election of the process, election of the members of Rajya Sabha. Basically, again, the election of Rajya Sabha member is indirect election. Why? Because only MLA took participate in the election of Rajya Sabha member. Clear? Japanese Constitution, borrowed procedure of establishment of law, okay, from the Constitution of Japan. Okay. Any doubts regarding this? Can we have a quick question session? Kindly participate in a question session, guys, and your first question is here on the screen. Question stating that the idea of the Constitution of India was first of all given by. M.N. Roy, very nice. Right answer, M.N. Roy, 1934. Next. Which party firstly mooted the idea of Constituent Assembly for the formation of Constitution for India? Anyone? Swaraj Party? 1934, exactly. Next. In which INC session the demand for Constituent Assembly was put forward for the first time? Any answers, please? In which INC session the demand for Constituent Assembly was put forward for the first time? No inputs? Okay, no issue. April 1936, and the session was Lucknow session. Okay. Right. Okay, if you are seeking any particular course on only on Olive Board, especially in English medium, so I would be glad that we are launching a complete foundation courses, especially in English medium. So please go through the application part for the courses part. So as you can see, these courses are up. SSC CGL Success Foundation Mission 2025, and also we have a CHSL Foundation. Both courses are newly launched starting on 6th of January 2025. So just start your year with a new course again. Okay, we'll meet you here. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll meet you tomorrow with a new topic, especially in the class, the theory class. Thank you. Great meeting you all, and please don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe this channel if you are new, and don't forget to share this theory part with all your friends. Thank you. Bye bye.